Ready. I should have been ready because I actually hit play, but I wasn't. Okay.
It's okay.
Welcome, Billy. This is Billy Clifton. If anyone doesn't know him, he's from our group. He also has his own YouTube review channel. I'm going to bring it up and show people here.
What is up, folks? Join my YouTube. Be a bullshit artist with me. It's fun. We tell dirty jokes. We make fun of sweatshops. It's good times. I love this group, by the way. Most of my collection comes from this group. So any new members, you're in for a treat.
What what was the last one that you picked up from the group?
Oh, my last win is right here from Andre Yahtzee's game. I won the Coot reissue. And this is fucking, it's a great fucking toy. Best way I'll put it.
Coot's probably my favorite toy from Fans Toys, to be honest with you. I wish they gave him, I know they gave him the Cyber Cigar, but I wish they'd given him an older looking face.
Older what? I'm sorry?
Like an older faceplate.
I would have loved that.
Yeah, that would have looked cool. And maybe his little Energon gum sticks, maybe a package like
that should have been a no-brainer. That absolutely should have been there. No questions asked.
There's got to be somebody out there that's made this in 3D printing or something, you know. It's like the things like the Space Bridge. I've seen some people doing some smaller scale ones on 3D printing, but I'm surprised there hasn't been a big scale.
I haven't seen them bigger than Legend scales for the Space Bridge, but I would love an MP Space Bridge for the middle of one of my DTOFs. That'd be freaking killer.
Well, I mean, you got you'd have to get one like, you remember how big the old Cobra base was? The big round.
Yeah.
What's it called?
Absolutely. What the hell was the name of that? I had all my G.I. Joes as a kid, man. I had the flag. We had that mobile command center. My brother and I we share a birthday. We're both July 5th. And my dad would get us all the giant sets every year. So
I know
damn. I wish I never got rid of it. My mother threw it out when we moved. And I tell her all the time, I'm like, Mom, you threw away like 10 grand. Just want you to know that. But if we were talking favorite Fans toys, I got to go with Quietus, which I got this from the group too. I think it was Golden Harrison. I think it was one of his games. But Quietus to me is just, it's perfect. It's fun to pose. It's fun to mess around with. It has such amazing shelf presence.
Is that
my first game? What's that?
Is that the second version or?
That's the first version. I haven't won. I haven't won the tune yet. I try, but
I like that one better. You know, the different. What is it? That's like a light purple tone.
It's like a stark white, and I like the white. I think that stark white's great. It's just not tune accurate, but it just looks so, I guess, powerful. It's commanding.
Yeah. Have you read the IDW comics?
I have not. My buddy Nick owns Big Tin Robot Toys and Collectibles, and he's always telling me, Billy, you got to read these IDW comics. They're so full. There's so much depth and character development.
Oh,
and
man.
I haven't had the time. I was in a touring band for many years. I work 80 plus hours a week doing road inspections. So the time to read just slowly disappeared with the comics.
Well,
now that I'm not doing this, I'm probably going to pick those up.
Well, if you have time, you traded that free time for other time. So you got to make sure to do it, though, regardless. If you get on comiXology.com, the app, and you have a tablet, you can get the majority of the IDW comic series, and it's like $8 a month. I think I read the entire 10 years worth of series for $20.
Yeah, that's great.
But yeah, when you have that long a run for a comic, you can really develop those characters that hi-fi really. But that is the second head for the samurai style head for a Quietus is based on that IDW design. He's pretty cool.
Head's beautiful.
Yeah, it's just it's rad. Don't get me wrong, but it's just not my Quietus, you know, or, you know.
It's not my Cyclonus. My Cyclonus was, you know, Galvatron's #2 and, you know, all that crazy stuff. But you actually started my first win in the game group when I played for your Capone. Oh, that's a lot of broken figures.
Oh, no.
No, they're not broken. They're just down and out. But I won Capone in one of your games, and it was the first game I had ever won.
That box for
and that
Capone
led to me. What?
The box for Capone? It was just ridiculous.
Oh, the whole thing is just so big. I still don't know where the hell to put it all.
Who all did you lose right there?
The MMC Insecticons took a dive. And they're fragile. The silver plastic that they use it just shatters. I actually went off on one of my reviews on the quality of the plastic that they use there. They have great die cast, but the tolerances are garbage. I mean, the legs are so, I don't know how the fuck. The legs are so loose. I don't know. I felt like they dialed it in. Is an easy way to put it. Other than that, what else have I won on the game group? I won a lot on the game group. I know I won Nate's Scorponok. That's in storage, though. The Titan Returns Scorponok. That thing was incredible.
Oh, yeah.
That must have been a bitch to ship out, too. Actually, no, that was Sean Williamson. That wasn't Nate. I'm sorry. But you got some great guys that run their games in there, too. I've never had a bad experience here.
Yeah, there's definitely it's a great place to do some network.
Oh, absolutely. The community here is fantastic. People help each other out just on friend levels. Like I've got guys that I've become good friends with here. You know?
I say the same thing, including you. I mean, how else would I ever have met most of the people that I know if it wasn't just through networking interactions through the group?
Now, you know, since we're starting out, congratulations on your store. I think that is one of the coolest things that I've seen in a while is, you know, you came out, you opened up this store and it's legit and you're a trustworthy guy. So I wish nothing but the best for you there.
Well, I appreciate it. It's a variety that, you know, it's a struggle because, well, the reason why I finally got around to doing it was because the conventions are closing. And I've been, you know, if you're at a convention, you only have Transformers, 90% of the people are going to walk by your booth. So you kind of got to mix it up a little bit. But since there's no conventions now, I've got all this stuff. I've got a Transformers game group, but, you know, I need a place to put this stuff too. And it just kind of came together. Do you like my little monkey dude?
I love it. I love the logo. I think it's great. It reminds me of Cuphead. If you ever played that game,
yeah.
Well, I like that like 1940s animation look. That something about that just hits you hard, and I think it looks great. The logo's great. The site's great. I'm really looking forward to what you're going to put out there.
I was trying to pull up your page. I'm still kind of new to to this, but you've done some serious video time here. You've got everything from the new leader class Grimlock to going to what is this NECA Predator?
Oh, I do everything.
Yeah,
I love NECA's products. They don't show up near me. I've got the same 4 scalpers in my general area that hit up my Target, my Walmart, my Walgreens, all before 8:30 in the morning. And I've literally, now that I'm working from home, what's that?
I feel like the shelf scalping has become people's what they consider an income at this point.
I was going to say people aren't working and they need to make money, and I get that. But leave a couple on the shelf for us.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and a lot of times NECA, you know, they only typically their figures come at 6 in a case. So I don't know. I'm assuming Walmart probably picks up like, you know, 6 of the Predator Jungle Hunter figures, for example, and probably lets it roll out, and then when it's gone, it's pretty much gone.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I know. Well, I've got a picture right here. I just got these guys in.
Stripes, that's such a great figure. I've seen that. Unfortunately, my space is limited to a corner of my house at this point in time. So my hopes and dreams of like all these little gremlins all over during Christmas time just don't happen. But that ultimate stripe is beautiful.
Yeah, he's really good. He's a reissue, but I mean, and NECA doesn't always do reissues, but they do for the ones that are, you like your staples, like a Gizmo or I don't know, your regular standard Predator 1 Predator or something like that. You know what I mean?
Now, is there anything different with that stripe? Because I know with the Predator and the Predator City Hunter, the second releases, they had subtle paint differences. So you could tell the difference between the two of them. And I didn't realize that when I reviewed the Predator that I had done. What I did the Jungle Hunter, and it was the second release, which had different, like the pants were a different shade, and there are a couple differences. Is that how it is with Stripe as well, or is it just a straight up?
I think it's a straight up just reissue. I didn't notice any differences. Paint scheme looks the same, but the joints or NECA joints aren't that great. I mean, let's be honest.
Hot water, man. Hot water or a hair dryer.
I mean, why don't they follow suit like Hasbro Black Series or the Marvel Legend? You know what I mean? It's not an expensive change, and wouldn't it make the world of difference on posability for these things?
It might be wherever they do their manufacturing. I'm good friends with somebody that works for Super 7, and we talk a lot about the figures and what's going on, and they do all of their production in China, whereas most people or most companies have moved to Vietnam. And because they're still in China, that's why it's $20 for a figure that has 5 points of articulation. For whatever reason, they're just not jumping to Vietnam or jumping to India. So maybe that's what's going on with NECA. I'm not sure. I don't know anybody that works for them.
I mean, they put out great stuff. It's just, I mean, really, well, you remember the old Todd McFarlane toys? It was like the pose you pull it out of the box in is the pose it was in. That was it.
That was it. But I bought every goddamn one of them, man.
Yeah. Well, they were trend setting. It was a brand new thing, like adult action figures on Toys R Us shelves. You couldn't do it before. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Now that you mention it, I was looking at these little Funko keychains that I got made in Vietnam. So, but check them out.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know if you can see it.
I can see it as prime. That's awesome.
I thought it was pretty cool.
My daughter I've got 3 kids, and my middle daughter collects Funko Pops, and she's got her whole wall, and she's got a room that's, let's say, 14 feet long. She's got a 14-foot wall that is just all Funko Pops. It's pretty incredible. And I think her favorite one is Frank Todaro, who voices Starscream in the current Transformers series. He autographed the Mugman figure for her with a little private message because he's voicing Mugman in the Netflix series. Nice. So he's a really cool guy too. I can't say a bad thing about Frank.
I had some Funko Pops. I've just never had a lot of luck from a seller's standpoint. I've never had
I couldn't imagine selling those things.
It was kind of competitive, man, because when I was in Vegas, there's a place called the Pop Shack where all they do is sell pops. And like they had everything I had, which I thought I had really cheap, like below normal retail. And they were just killing it with like $5 each. I was like, how do you even get them for that much? And maybe it's just
they're probably making a killing on like variants. Like if maybe they get a couple chase figures and they sell those for whatever the cost of the case was, and then that $5 is all extra earned income. But I don't know. I'm not a seller at all. I just say whether or not something's worth buying.
Yeah, and that's kind of who I am. I get what I want because I enjoy it. Because I'm not an inbox guy. I don't leave stuff in, except for the stuff that I sell, of course. But my own stuff, I always take it out of the box.
You have to. You're spending your money on it. You want to enjoy it. Yeah. I have 2 figures that are in box. I've got the Stan Lee Marvel Legends, just because what are you going to do with that aside from, enjoy that you got Stan Lee, permanently in plastic on your wall.
Right.
And the Target Rogue, because I picked one up as a trade bait just in case.
Yeah.
You know.
And I mean, wouldn't that really be the only purpose for someone to leave like a fence like Quietus in this box sealed? Is they expect the value to go up and to be able to sell it later? Or do you think some people really truly like, hey, I just like knowing that I own it?
So I've got a very good friend that usually buys 3 of everything. You know, he's got his one for robot, one for vehicle, and always the one for in the box. You know, that doesn't ever leave the box, and he's got one of the largest collections in the world. And he's a sweetheart. I can't fathom keeping things in that box, especially with engineering levels like we get.
Let's see here. We got some people here chatting with us. Let's see.
Hey, man, what's up, everybody?
You know, it's weird. I don't know if on your end, if you can see the chats on the side there.
I can see them, but it just says Facebook user.
Yeah,
so I'm not getting a name for somebody.
It's supposed to, like, I should be able to do this. And then it should show their little picture. It should show their name.
If you need Quietus, there's a couple games with Quietus running right now.
Is there? So
yeah, I think there's like 2 of them going. Because I want that Toon one still, just because Cyclonus is my favorite Transformer of all time, simply put.
Really?
So, him and Tarantulas.
Really? I'll be damned. It says a lot about you, sir. You're loyal to
forever.
fault.
I'm sorry?
Loyal to a fault.
Horribly.
Well, he was.
Yeah, absolutely. He could have led the Decepticons to glory, but instead he followed around this nut job. So, you know, it is what it is.
Let's see.
I'm sorry about the Apache Peak price, man. I actually went with MMC for Apache. I liked that thick look of him. It felt like the cartoon more so than what Fans Toys put out. And I love Fans Toys. I've never had a bad experience with them. I think, you know, they trump Takara 80% of the time.
Yeah, and you know what? Let me throw this up there so people can see what we're talking about. Honestly, peak price, cheap price, what difference does it make if you get what you want and you're happy with it, man? I mean, that's why they go up in value so much. So I don't judge.
I don't think I really regret any figures that I've bought in a long time. You know, but now I do the research. With the internet, we can make sure we're not getting that Armada sideswipe, you know?
Mm-hmm. I got a question for you.
Yeah, shoot.
We had touched on this a little bit while we were chatting back and forth, but you had mentioned that you had beef with Hasbro's quality lately. Like, do you mind touching on that a little bit? Like you were saying something about the visual is better, the way the aesthetic, but maybe they're failing on another end.
Absolutely. So I was actually talking to Hasbro's management today for customer service in regards to some issues that I had. Let's just get into it. This Studio series, right? Fantastic figures and all that shit. I don't know what I'm doing here, but these Studio series are easily the best designs Hasbro's ever done, or Hasbro's done in the last, let's say, 10 to 12 years. Okay, they're engineering wise, they're the top quality that they've put out. But the figures themselves, I put everything on a shelf after I review it. I don't really play with the toys. They're more for my viewing pleasure, but they're so loose. You know, nothing stays tabbed in. So they've upped their quality in engineering, but they've skimmed out on the quality of the figures, like the plastic itself. Like my Scourge came misassembled. He has 2 left thrusters on the back wings. Okay, so it's lopsided. You can't transform them because it doesn't look right. it's just little things like that where the designs are so good, but they're just cheaping out on the quality. Look at Unicron. Here's this Unicron that many people paid, $600, give or take. I'm not even going to get into what these eBay people paid, but they paid top dollar for a figure that now is being released that it's not what was advertised. They didn't paint the teeth. They changed the color of the maw. There's little things in there that the hands, they're not painted on the inside. It's just blue molded plastic. You paid a premium to be one of the only people that had this figure, and they went with the product and color may vary. That doesn't slide. That doesn't work on a crowdfunded item. You should get everything you paid for.
Right, exactly. It goes back to, what is the Make Toys? Was it Sunstorm that they did the
Yeah.
crowdfunding for? And it's just
Yes.
bad paint, really bad paint. And it's literally, it was just a remold. That was it. But yeah, you're right. I mean, the crowdfunding, one, Hasbro's a massive company. Why are they asking for money in advance for this stuff? They could have done as a pre-order. I don't know if this is something they're just trying to push for to make it a more normal, so they can skip production costs in advance. You know what I mean? Like, maybe
Well, I think they easily threw those production costs on us.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. But then, like you said, they half-assed and they came out limping, with a different product than what they initially promised, and these people bought into.
Yeah, and that's not acceptable.
Yeah.
I might buy some Chugs now, 86 movie series. I can't be without figures. As I've said in most of my reviews, I mean, this hot rod, up until about a week ago, was going to be my figure of the year. My mind was made up that there is nothing better than this Studio Series hot rod. But now, if I transform him to the car mode, his arms pop off. It just, after a few transformations, it doesn't hold together. The tabs are loose. And my house is climate controlled. There's no fluctuating temperatures. There's no direct sunlight on them. It shouldn't be like that less than a month after opening. That's not the way that a toy should be produced, especially, we're adult collectors and we don't throw them around the room like a 6-year-old. But these figures, you're paying a premium dollar for, $30 for that hot rod. It's smaller than most of the deluxe figures. Okay, why on earth should it be loose already? Why should it be untabbing? And that's where I feel like Hasbro's got it in the bag with this team of engineers. They know what they're doing. The figures are beautiful. But whatever they're doing to cut costs, it's not working. And that's my problem. I mean, I had John Machida Jr. for my Blur review. I had Gary Chalk for my Voyager Primal review from Kingdom. So I went out and I made sure that I invested in these figures and their reviews. Hasbro should at least invest in us as the consumer to give us a quality product. And that's why I think you're seeing a large portion of the fan base going the 3P route. These third-party figures, they're giving us legend scales. They're giving us some chug scales, but a lot of MP scales. So you've got, you could go ahead and you can buy the Titans. You could win the Titans on the game group. And then you can get these legend scaled figures that are better quality than what Hasbro's putting out for the same price, $30-$40. And you've got a killer collection. So Hasbro's got to in my opinion, up their QC game, or they're going to start seeing some hurting.
I've seen
if I was one of those people paying double price on eBay for this, I'd be furious.
Oh, for sure.
That's just it.
I've seen people saying that the wheels are falling off the peg pretty easy too, off the pins.
Well, another thing and I brought it up in the review, the back wheels on Hot Rod, they're not painted. They're, the front wheels have a silver hubcap and the back wheels are left black. What's it cost? A half a penny?
Right, if that.
So they just got, they've got a great team of engineers now. I love what they're putting out, but the quality of the figures got to get upped. And Unicron proved it, that they're kind of phoning it in. As I said with the DX9, the last figure, that drag strip, they knew they were closing their shop. They said the engineer quit and they just had to finish a figure, and that's how that drag strip feels. It feels like it was phoned in. They didn't even finish the damn thing to give it a spot to hide its head.
So,
but hopefully I made a little bit of a point. I ramble a lot, guys.
Yeah, maybe somebody important's listening.
You never know. I was on the phone 45 minutes with Hasbro's manager of, they manage Hasbro Pulse and they manage consumer care. And it was a great conversation and they listened in, but I mean, these figures are already out and you can't even get them on the shelf. You know, that's another reason why I'm happy, you know, guys like you and Nate have your stores, because you give us opportunities to get these figures before, you know, the scalpers grab them. So we appreciate that. 3-piece, the way to go for me, except 44 and 36. Those are great figures, man. 44, I know people were pissed about that price tag, but 44 is worth it. It's worth every fucking penny, man.
He is a great figure. The Prime is. I've said it since day one, but I still prefer Transform Elements Prime. He looks clean.
I haven't won that yet.
Oh, well. I might have to send you one to do a review or something then. He's just real clean. He cleans up, not panelly. I mean, his back is perfect. It's just really cartoon accurate. They did a really good job. Same thing with their Mirage.
I have the Mirage. That Mirage is amazing.
Yeah, they're really, I mean, I kind of wonder if they don't have their designers or engineers or whoever's working this company, if they came from another one.
I think they had to have, because I said in my review on the Mirage, you know, it feels like a Takara Carbon. When you transform it, when you hold it, the plastic, everything about it feels official. If it actually had the logo on its chest, you would think that's an official product. It doesn't have that third party feel. You know, like Fans Toys, you know that's not Takara. Those things have amazing plastic, amazing weight. You know, the Fans Toys are in a league of their own. But when you get like an X-Transbots figure, you know that's third party. There's something about it, the way the joints move, the way the paint smells when you open it. You know, it just doesn't feel the same. But that Transform Element Mirage, that thing is as legit as it comes. I could care less if Takara announces one.
I used to love Sphinx and think, wow, it just doesn't get no better than this. And then I saw the Transform Element Mirage, and I was like, wow, I guess they nailed this one out of it was just so good.
Sphinx is good though. Sphinx is a really good figure.
Really clean. So something I probably should just tell you this off thing, but I do want to send you one of my, you know, those diorama sets that I got, because you do all these reviews. I thought maybe when you could throw one in the back, check it out. But check this out. I'm going to hide out real quick and show you a picture real quick.
That's the Rock right there. $1 billion eyebrow. Oh, that's fucking beautiful.
So this is the Subway one.
Oh my God.
But I mean, there's just seems like there's so many different options you can do with these. You know, kind of this guy's got some fun.
That Subway one alone, you had the Turtles, now you got Venom. Star Wars, Gina.
Right. What do you think about that? That's nuts. I mean,
I think that whatever, people are going to hate me or not, but she spoke her mind. Pedro spoke his mind the same way, but said it against the Republican Party, and he didn't get any heat. So people are afraid to speak their minds now. And I think her speaking her mind and losing her job for it shows that if you don't speak in the tone that the masses want to hear, you're automatically labeled. And whatever.
Needs to be more balanced, I suppose, huh? You know, and I don't think the masses are really too far in either direction. I think most of them are like us, just kind of center, caught in the middle of all this bullshit between people that have some power.
I firmly believe you treat people the way you want to be treated, and that's it. You know, I don't care about anything else. Just say hi to me. You could say, "What's up, asshole?" I could care less. Just say hello.
Check this out.
That Biff.
Oh, did you see it?
That Biff getting pissed on is fucking incredible.
Yeah,
that is great.
It's supposed to be displaying the display, but I mean that just kind of tells the story itself.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. That is that Bad Santa with Biff and Marty McFly.
Probably. Yeah. I like this one too with the T-Rex, and it's got a Jonathan, wasn't it?
John Carter. Or
Was
John
it John
Connor.
Carter?
John Connor.
Connor, yeah. Terminator. And then Marty McFly. That'd be a crazy movie. I
I'd
guess
watch it.
they both tie into time travel, I suppose.
Now is that the Mattel the newer Rex for the Camp Cretaceous? Or is that not your pick?
Oh no, I don't take these picks. I don't have that kind of talent. Look.
I got a case of figures behind me, man.
I just well, I have lots of stuff that I could use for a background, but I don't want it to be about me. I wanted to spotlight you and see some of the cool stuff that you got, you know. So my stuff's all in boxes anyways.
I actually don't have backgrounds at all. I wanted to start building them out of the insulation foam, but I'm starting a new channel, more geared towards my 2.5-year-old son, and all my time's gone to that channel lately.
Well,
that's going to be pretty cool. I'm calling it Billy's Toy Box, and it's going to be fun. But
cool.
It's definitely kids oriented. It's not no bullshit. There's no swearing. There's nothing like that. But there's going to be little like musical cues and jokes in there that guys like us that grew up with like 60s Batman, you're going to hear a line, you're just going to chuckle a little bit. So it's for the parents, it's for the kids, and we're making our own backgrounds for that. My wife, she builds all those things. She's very crafty, and she's making all her backgrounds up for them. And once everything's ready, we're going to start filming, and it's going to be fun.
That'll be awesome. Then my kid's going to be bugging me to buy some $10 egg with your kid's face on it at Walmart.
I'm not that guy.
Hey,
absolutely not. I've got family in the industry, and I would never. Is it worth ending up like Miley Cyrus? Is it worth my kid ending up like one of those Disney kids for a couple bucks? I don't think so. I'm sorry.
Well, you can borrow my kid's face, and we'll just cut the check in half.
Sounds good, man.
College is expensive. Speaking of collections and your wife, is your camera where you can move it at all? I'm just curious to see the rest of your collection.
So
there it is.
Those are 3 of her American Girl dolls. I actually had to rearrange my entire collection to give her this bookcase that's behind me, as well as 4 others that are going to go on one of our other walls. She's got 75 American Girl dolls. Her birthday's coming up, so I just bought her 2 more and sent 1 to the hospital. But she's a big American Girl collector. She's got a picture somewhere. I'll have to find it, of our daughters. We've got our steps are 14 steps high, and it's them on the stairs, and each stair has, I don't know, 6 or 7 American Girl dolls all the way down to the bottom with them in the middle. Jeez. And it's crazy. But she says, hey, if I could buy a $200 Transformer, there's no reason she can't get her $200 doll, and I'm cool with that.
That's true. I mean, I guess that's the equivalent for some people. You know, going back to Funko Pops, it's like, me and Carl would talk about this. It's like, I'm not a fan of them myself, but people love them. They have so many different properties. You know, there's some pretty novel ones out there that I think are kind of cool. It's not for my collection personally, but everybody's got their own taste. And I think a lot of the other groups on or any platform on Facebook, they should take note of that. You know what I mean? It's like, let people be themselves, let them enjoy what they enjoy. Don't see it as an opportunity to break them down.
Absolutely. So my wife and I just had that conversation. She posted the case, and it was set up with her dolls. I just put my shit back there for tonight. But the members in the group saw my detolf surrounding it with all the Transformers. And all of a sudden, all these women started coming out. Like, my husband collects He-Man. My husband collects Mask. And it almost brought the group closer together because we're sharing our passion. And, these people weren't afraid to admit that, their husband might collect whatever it might be. So it was really nice. It was pretty cool to see. I know one of the other groups I'm in, Hardcore Collectors, has a guy that collects Barbies. And I think he's got the largest Barbie collection in the world. And it's fucking awesome.
Is that on the news? I feel like I saw that.
He's down in Florida, and he dresses like a Ken doll, but he's fucking awesome. You know?
Cosplay to the max. Hey, did you see the new Frankenstein figure that NECA's kicking out?
I did. My father-in-law passed away in June, and all he did was collect Universal monsters. That was his thing. And every year Halloween would come and the house would have all of his Universal monsters, model kits, his figures. So I saw that, and I'm going to have to pre-order one of those from you because that's a must. That is just amazing. You know, the only thing is I want somebody to do a resin cast of Young Frankenstein.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
just to have that.
Walk this way.
You know, pop the head off. And, yeah, just to have some fun. But yeah, that's a thing of beauty. That right there, if NECA can nail that Universal license, that's a beautiful ship that they can sell.
Yeah. It looks really good. I know that much.
Did you see the Mummy?
I saw the little teaser they used on their, what is it, Instagram?
I think it was their Twitter. I don't have Twitter, though. I only have Instagram. But when they showed the face of the Mummy, I was just, the details that they got in there.
I can't wait for that.
Mind-blowing.
Wolfman.
And I'm happy they're doing it since they lost the Godzilla license. I'm loving that they went with the Universal monster route.
Yeah, me too. Hopefully going with Universal can open them up to a lot of other Universal movies. I mean, they've already done Back to the Future and stuff like that anyway. So
Back to the Future and Jaws. I think they have a Bruce coming out. Yeah, you know, my stupid ass is going to buy a $50 4-foot shark, but whatever.
Yeah, you can hang it from the ceiling.
That's the game plan. But I'm hoping they do Jaws too, because I like that burnt face. I just think that looks pretty cool.
Well, did Universal? Yeah, Universal made Chucky.
Yep.
Chucky lines, Predator, and all that stuff. So I guess I have a pretty good rapport with Universal, or good cash cow for Universal anyway. So.
Hopefully they do like Reanimator or something like that. That'd be kind of fun.
Yeah. Well, I know they got the Puppet Master coming out.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome.
Creepy little dolls. Let me think. What else? Oh, I know. I wanted to ask you about going back to Hasbro, and the scalpers. Do you get out? Do you find a lot of stuff in the wild for yourself, or how do you?
I do. I go out now that I work from home. I drop my daughter off at school at 8:15, and I drive to my local Target, which is only a 5-minute, 10-minute tops ride from my house, and I see what's out on the shelf. And what I'll do, I have a couple friends that I always reach out to and say, hey, do you need anything? If they have it. And I was able to nab Grimlock. He was the only one on the shelf at 8:30 in the morning. It's very hard by me. There's 4 of the same scalpers that they pay the guys in the back off. You know, they're known throughout the area. The Walgreens manager, the Walmart manager, they all know who they are. And it's hard to be a collector in my area. Like the AEW figures do not see the shelf. The new Masters of the Universe, where they updated, the old figures we grew up with, but now they're posable. They don't hit the shelf. It's wild. The NECA Krang, that never hit the shelf. It's mind blowing.
I've seen some people talk about what is it, the belt, where they're trying to put Krang into his robot. And it's breaking.
Yeah, the giant robot that never came. I've never seen that here. I wanted to review it. I thought that'd be a cool, like, hey, I just hit 700 subs. I know my 1,000 subs are coming up, so I thought I'd buy that. That'd be a cool giveaway. And I can't even find it. There's nothing. My NECA shelves has the aliens or the Alien 50th anniversary or 40th anniversary figures with Dallas and the guys from the Nostromo. That's all that's on our shelf, along with a couple of the clear stands. Our NECA shelf is terrible here. And, all that they have is the Spin Masters Batman figures. I can get any of those.
Spin Masters.
Yeah. And I can't. I grabbed one for my son, and they're not good figures. And I said, I'm not even going to review it. I'm not going to give them the time. It's not worth it.
Nothing makes it too
I
much.
don't do the trading card thing, so I can't speak for anything on that.
Trading cards are making a big comeback. Sports cards. I mean, I don't think Pokemon cards ever went away. I was never into them, but you know, I know and respect that there's a huge following for them since they came out.
I never did Pokemon. My middle daughter loves it. So we grab her whatever we can find. But I have no idea if any of her stuff's worth anything because, you know, Pokemon never spoke to me. I was a little too old for that.
Yeah, that's
You know?
the same with me. But you know, it's like GI Joes or something when we were kids, and we just wrecked them. Kids do
GI Joe is the greatest thing in the world.
Yeah, same thing with probably Pokemon cards, and you know, all that stuff is gonna transition into the same way we see our favorite stuff, I suppose, at some point for these kids. But so he wants Frankenstein. They are going to do all the monsters, all the Universal monsters. What is it? Dracula, the Wolfman, Frankenstein, the Mummy, and Creature from the Black Lagoon. Is that all of them?
Yeah, and then after that, you'd get into like Bride of Frankenstein and the little spin-offs.
Gen 2.
You know, I would love an American Werewolf in London. That would be pretty wild if they could pull that off.
Oh, that'd be real good. Or The Thing. That'd be.
That was actually the next thing I was going to bring up. I'd love a full set of the Thing figures.
Or try to con us all into buying a little jar of slime. Call it
the Blob.
Blob.
Just put I'm on it. Let's do it.
Little eyeballs in it or something. Well, anything else you think you want to talk about?
I was going to ask you, what do you feel about the page that X-Transbots is taking right now, where they're kind of acting like they're on a Fans Toys level, but they're giving you subpar products? Like, do you think they're burying themselves? Or because I kind of feel like this Springer that's coming out needs to be a home run, or they're done in the eyes of the collectors.
Yeah,
what are your thoughts on that?
I think they had a real good hype machine though, because I mean, everything they've been teasing up until the point where it actually releases gets a lot of hype, gets people excited. I mean, like the Quintesson back there. I mean, he's pretty cool. Don't get me wrong. The best version that's out there, but how much was he? You know, and I think that's a lot of the people's gripe is how much they're trying to price themselves out of the market before they've established themselves as a company that can command that kind of money. Go ahead.
I was saying that Quintesson is beautiful, but there was that should have been like an $85 figure. Make it plastic. I don't need a motor. I don't need it speaking. Give me the bendable tendrils. Make all the mouths posable, and I'm happy. You know, you can make the eyes light up if you want, but give me that for $85. I'll buy 3 of them. You know, but almost $200 for a big metal figure that I also have to spend another $40 for a specialized battery on. You're not pulling me in.
Yeah.
You know.
And then we had talked about it on the last one, but the whole trailer fiasco, and how they pumped the price up just for the trailer for Motormaster. No one was happy about that.
Now that was poor decision making again. Now I got it. You know, the first figure, what was it, Dead End or whoever the first one they released was cheap. It was like $50-$60 because they had to beat whoever stole their CAD files and was going to make a sideswipe. So they sold it at a loss and they sucked you in. And then the other figures came out and they were a little bit more. But when that trailer got announced for its price, and then the faces and the accessories are all a separate package, why would you? Who thought that was a good idea?
Right. Well, and then DX9, they gave you the trailer and Motormaster complete.
Yep.
And it's essentially you can have the entire combiner and still have a Motormaster as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
absolutely, my Motormaster I don't even put in the trailer just because it gets so heavy.
Yeah.
You know, and I did it for the review, but I just wanted to make sure it was represented properly. But that DX9 set, I think it's wonderful. Is it fans' choice quality? No. But does it look the part for a team that really isn't anybody's favorite team? I mean, it does what it needs to. I think DX9 knocked it out of the park. X Transbots, I wanted to pick up the cup figure, but once they showed the pictures without the painted abs and the soft face details, it just didn't speak to me. I said, I have Coot. I'm good. I don't even need to do a comparison at this point because they kind of shot themselves in the foot releasing a figure that looks almost like a early prototype.
Yeah, the whole ab area waistline looked like garbage to me. I mean, it looked like a flat piece of plastic with some lines carved into it, and then all kinds of junk hanging off the sides. Let me see if I can.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. But we're in a great time as Transformers guys. If you're a Transformers fan, you've got the pick. You have such a run of what you could pick from. The issue is some of these companies are seeing the money that Fans Toys is bringing in, that they're just not at a level where they can charge that. Even Takara, the Carbots used to be what, like $60, and now it's $120 for figures that aren't even fully engineered. I get that they're seeing the money that third-party companies are getting, but Takara and Hasbro, with these third-party companies, they've got free market enterprise. I mean, these people are doing the engineering for you. It's your product. Take what they did right, see what the fans are saying needs to be improved upon, and just do that. And you would have perfect representations of these figures.
Check your pricing.
Pricing's everything. That RC was not worth 120 and change or whatever she was going for. $85 to $100, absolutely. She is a good figure.
Well, look at Rogue. She was what, $90, $95 when she came out? And
yep.
She goes for about $200 probably now if you can find a brand new one.
Because she's a great figure.
Yeah, but open up here and then let the market kind of set pace from there. If people want it, it's just like the games on the group. If your price is off, people aren't going to play. If it's something people don't want, they're obviously not going to play. So I mean, your game and how many people jump in on it speaks for itself. If I put a game up and it gets no love within the first day, I'm just going to delete it because I mean, I'm not going to take up page space personally for someone else's game with a dead game that I can mix it in with a choice game. Maybe there's one guy that wants it, but he ain't going to fill a game anyways. But my point is, we're the ones buying. We're also a very vocal community on what we want, what we expect. So
absolutely,
all you got to do is listen. Obviously it takes talent to design something that can fold up into 365 different pieces and turn into.
I could never design it.
but I don't know. And that being said, look at Flame Toys. Or 3-0, they don't transform, but they're starting to develop a huge following because they're just so articulate. They look amazing. The paint app's done right.
I was going to say, they're such photogenic figures that who cares if they don't transform? That's another thing. Before we end it, Hasbro went and did the Red series, right? Where there are these non-transforming renditions of the Transformers that are supposed to be tune accurate and are supposed to be like Revoltech quality stuff. But at the same time, they gave Super 7 the green light to make their own superposable Transformers line that doesn't transform. And they made the same figures. To me, if you see that you've got a company making these figures, why don't you jump on maybe the IDW bandwagon? Say, we can do the same thing, but here's the IDW guys, Super 7's got the Gen 1 guys, and everything sells and everything's hunky-dory. I don't get why they went ahead and just decided to make the same figures.
I don't know. It's like they always stick with the same 6 figures, figuring, I guess, because they'll sell more rather than developing another character. Look at Disney. They took Guardians of the Galaxy and made them now a top tier Marvel product. you just need the right people with the right hands on these things to develop them. You know, that's if anything proves that, it's the Marvel movies.
Oh, absolutely. And as you brought up, I didn't read the IDW comics, but from what I see people talking about, they took some extremely obscure characters like Tailgate and turned them into these lovable characters that have followings now, that people, based, decisions off, hey, this guy did it this way, I'm going to give it a run. So it's out there. It's a possibility. I'm personally tired of getting the same Gen 1 guys from, Hasbro. I would love them to try another wave was characters that you've never seen before. Yeah, maybe they had the same name like Prowl and they made him an owl now, but it wasn't Gen 1 Prowl. It was a character. Or Silverbolt was this awesome new character. They should try to develop something new.
Yeah.
How many times can we buy the same Optimus Prime?
Yeah, make us interested in some other characters. Make me
I
want
would
to go
love
buy
for them
them.
to say, hey, Commander Class is Thunder Clash. I would love a Commander Class Thunder Clash figure.
Well, what about like Double Dealer or Tarn, all these characters that people love that are in these other fodders or past G1, G2.
The Fallen.
Yeah, I mean DJD or any of those guys. I watch these cartoons and I know people like them, and I don't want to bash on it on stuff that people enjoy, but I thought they sucked. And then you watch it and it's like Optimus Prime is a puss, and then they use the same model like 100 times. Yeah, I get it. There's a lot of, but a whole society that looks like Mirage. You know what I mean? It's like,
this new series?
Yeah.
The animation, the budget they gave them for animation was so sad. And especially, they have the CAD files that Hasbro designed. They're obviously matching up to these CAD files. There's so many other figures that were made that didn't make the show. Treat it like Beast Machines and make them a background character.
Yeah.
You have the files. It's how much could it cost you to produce, this model? It can't be bank breaking.
Well, like Carl says, we were talking about it. Like DC have all these great animation done, like anime almost style quality animation feature films, adult driven, and they do great, and they're great movies. Just do the same thing with Transformers. I
would love that.
I mean,
the last good Transformers, I was talking to my wife about that, in my opinion, I know everybody loves Prime, and I get it, but Beast Machines was a shitty toy line, okay? But when you watch the show and you get the story, throw out the hippie primal, but you've got Megatron, who essentially, they wrote a Holocaust story, and they weren't afraid to do it. That was an amazing arc where you see Megatron won, and it was 2 seasons of him victorious, where ultimately, yeah, they rebirthed Cybertron, but they did something different, and I appreciate that. And I feel like that's the last time Beast Wars and Beast Machines was the last time they did anything out of the box. Now it's that comfort zone. Here's Optimus Prime. Here's Megatron. Here's Optimus Prime. Here's Megatron.
Optimus Prime.
I would love to see
human. And you always got to have a little teenage kid or two in there.
Oh, well, they got to sell the toys. And if the kids feel like they're part of it, they're going to buy the toys. But I would love just an original line, like call it Transformers 3022. And it's the next wave. Or give us Transformers in the 50s. I would love to see like old 50s cars as Transformers with, a totally noir feel. Something original. Give us something new. That's all.
Here's an interesting comment someone made, off topic, but I wanted to get.
I'm all for off topic.
Fans Toys Giga. Don't know which way to go.
I look at those pictures. I don't own any Masterpiece scale Dinobots because I can't make the decision. It's not the cost of the Fans Toys. It's not the cost of the Giga. I don't know which one I like better. They're both beautiful figures. They're scaled well. I don't know. I personally don't. They're cheaper and easier to find, but they're both so good.
Yeah. Well, the Giga,
I
to me, I like Giga, but I mean, they're just so big and chunky. Like I,
well, that's what Dinobot should be.
yeah, yeah. I like their Soar, how big his wingspan is. I like the chrome. Um, and then Grimlock is just bam. I mean, that's one that I would want in alt mode rather than a robot mode because that T-Rex is just so big. And compared to the Fans Toys, um, what is it, Grinder?
Yep.
He's just, to me, 2 times as good.
Really?
I think so.
Now I'm gonna have to find one.
Yeah, well, I'll have some coming in, but I might have to, it's too bad all you guys don't live closer to me. We could really have a good time.
Well, that's what I do. My friend Big Tin Robot that sponsors my channel, he lives 5 minutes away. So I'll go and hang out in his basement and we'll just sit there and play with these toys and say, this is good, this isn't, have a couple beers, have a couple shots, and it's a good time with these figures, you know?
You get all tore back, and then when you're leaving, he looks around the next day, all his shit's broken and like mistransformed.
That would be bad.
That would be bad. But yeah, definitely got to get your hands on a Giga. Do you have?
Well, if you put up some games, tag me. I'll be back playing in March.
March it is. They do you have any of the Dinobots at all? I know you have.
The only Dinobot I own is the Studio Series Grimlock. I don't have any. You know, I had the Masterpiece Grimlock, and it was a loose figure that with the red paint on his crotch area was flaking off just from touching it.
Really?
And I said, I don't need this. I gave it to one of my cousins. You know, I just, it didn't do it for me. And then I missed the Fans Toys train. And who doesn't love G2 Dinobots? Time out. I'm totally changing that, but I'm on board. If they did a full G2 Dinobot wave, I'm board, man. You know, the green snarl or whatever it was.
Now, what if they did a Dinobot combiner, third party?
I'm actually going to be reviewing the Shuriken. They did that Dinobot combiner. Yeah. It was all the Gen 1 Dinobots as a combiner. I hate that idea. I feel like the Dinobots were badass, individual, clunky monster bots. You know, that's it. They don't need to combine. What?
They took down combiners before, and they didn't need to combine themselves. You know,
they didn't need to. You know, they're badass as it is. Yeah. You know, like, but I find that these younger kids, like, what's that?
Yeah, the younger kids, it's just one of those gimmicks that they think they can sell, I guess.
Yeah, my good friend, I'm reviewing his Shuriken hopefully in a week or so. He's going to be bringing it by. You know, he's got 10 years. I'm 10 years his senior. He loves everything as a combiner. When he saw the Combiner Wars that Optimus was going to combine, I'm here shaking my head. He was in love with the idea. I just couldn't fathom it, you know. But everybody's got their thing. I'm, you know, I either want something brand new. What?
Probably would have liked them if I was a kid coming up and they had them at that point. But you know, then I wouldn't know the Dinobots that I know today, I suppose.
Yeah, I like my big, dumb, lurky, badass Dinobots.
Stomp, smash.
I'm now accepting toys as housewarming gifts. So somebody wants us to send them toys.
I'm thinking that's Curtis because he just got a house.
Congratulations on buying the house.
Yeah.
Say goodbye to your free money, though.
He needs one. Let's see. We got anything else here? I know we had some more stuff we're thinking about talking about, though. I'm definitely going to be sending backgrounds. I want you to review the background itself and tell me what you think. And
I would love to. You know, I'm happy to review. I'm happy to send stuff back. I don't ask for shit, but I would love to do the backgrounds. I've got a couple like 7-inch scaled figures that can go with them, or whatever the heck you want.
Yeah, they're 1/12 scale. I mean, they also have, I think, 1/8 scale, but it seems like everybody leans towards 1/12. You know, it fits well with your Hasbro, NECA, all that stuff.
It's either 1/12 or 1/32.
Yeah,
I've seen.
I'll send you some pics of the different sets I have, and you can tell me which one you have figures that you think would work best in a review or something. They even got this creepy cabin for like your Halloween and
Army of
oh,
Darkness, Evil Dead stuff.
yeah, yeah, it looks like a cabin like that, and you can do inside, outside shots, all kinds of stuff. Just makes it
That's
easy.
rad.
But Mark got one from me, and I told him, I said, man, it's going to make you want to take your toys down and actually play around with them a little bit. Because, you know, me, I put it on the shelf, kind of forget about it. You know what I mean? I'm not having like a story, but get them out, pose them around, have some fun, take some snapshots and whatnot. It's pretty cool.
Well, if there's something that makes me inspired for a story, I might have to pick up a couple for that other kid-friendly channel, you know, because I have these scripts that are written out that I'd love to, you know, have the background set up. I said my wife was going to be making them, but if it makes it easier for us, you know, I got 3 kids.
I'll show you a
That's
few more.
so badass.
Yeah, they did this with the Cobra. I'll shut up. I'm just going to flip through some.
Yeah, flick through, please. I wish I could find the G.I. Joe figures. That's going to be the best movie, man. I can't wait for March. That subway set's awesome.
That's that same Subway. Yeah.
Yeah, that was when with the NECA turtles, man. That is just great. And the lighting, whoever it is doing these pictures with that lighting, they capture the essence of the films.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Well, this is oh God, he was from the Batman series, wasn't he? Owlman
Is
or
that
something?
Talent?
Is it Talent? Yeah, yeah, yeah. From City of Owls, was that what it was?
Yes.
That was so good.
Yeah, my son just got the Imaginext version of them, and those Imaginext figures are wild, man. Those are the coolest things ever made.
I think that's an inside shot of the cabin.
That cabin's wild if that's it. That's a crossover I would love to see.
Wouldn't that be? Oh man, could you imagine if the Venom symbiote got a hold of, took over?
The Xenomorph.
Yeah,
That'd be. I watched Aliens today with my son, and so that's all fresh in my mind. That's great. I wish I had the time and patience to do these toy photos, man. Okay, that's
so
stellar.
That's kind of just you like looking at this one, the 3.0 pop up. You can switch it around too. Like you see, it kind of pops up there, and you got like a drive up truck bay, or you can fold it all up into one building like that. It's got the little pop out, like 3-dimensional type aspects, like the little AC units and stuff. But
those are just amazing.
Yeah, and I mean, you just slide them away. Like there's the sewer set.
That's amazing. I wish I saw that shredder, man. I was looking. I don't do the pre-orders because every time I do the pre-orders on those websites, I get kicked out. But that shredder is beautiful.
This makes me want to learn how to take photographs and some Photoshop, you know?
Yeah.
Well, they got NECA's got the new, what is it, the 1/6 scale or is it quarter scale? The Batman.
Oh, that's beautiful.
They're reissuing these. They got the Batman, Catwoman, and the Penguin. And
those are my favorite designs, man. That's one of my favorite Christmas movies right there. And you know, I every year I try to talk my wife into letting me do the Penguin for Halloween. I'm like, you can do Catwoman, just let me be that Danny DeVito Penguin, please. You know, run around barking at people and stuff, but it doesn't work in my favor.
Get a big raw fish carried around with you.
I would, in a heartbeat, man. My nose could be gushing blood, you know.
Oh, this
like
is this is some of the Mezco Constantine.
Yeah. Those Mezcos are beautiful, man.
Yeah. They're small, but it's like they do really good head sculpts.
Yeah, so they have a Superman. I'm not a fan of Superman. It's probably my least favorite character of all time. But they did a Christopher Reeves Superman that it just looks like he stepped out of the film. It's beautiful.
Yeah, he comes with his oh gosh, what is it? His little crystal thing. He slides the
from like that winter.
Yeah,
thing.
you know, and it projects his family and stuff on it to mentor him. It comes.
Oh, that's awesome. It does.
Yeah, that's pretty wild. Let's see what else. Oh, you had mentioned Mask. I know I'll bring this up. It's probably a dead horse at this point, but Joy Toy, they've got these figures coming out, and they have ones that are the scale of the Mask figures too. And
that's pretty wild.
It reminds me of crossover Titanfall and Mask, just because the characters, but they're a little more.
I was going to say, it reminds me of Titanfall, and I loved that game. That first Titanfall was a blast. I had a lot of fun with that game. Yeah, and I got lost in Destiny for a while. And
yeah, I played that too. I wonder why they haven't made a new Titanfall. I mean, with the new gen system.
I think Titanfall 2 didn't do very well.
Well, they didn't really add anything to it.
Well, I was just about to say, with Titanfall 1, it was fun and it was awesome, but there weren't a lot of guns. You know, you basically had like 5 or 6 guns that you could go through, and ultimately you knew which one you wanted. And then you had the Titans, and there's only, 3 of them that you could choose from?
Yeah. I mean, a game like that, you got to have upgradable stuff. You got to have a leveling system. You got to have more like the mech specific builds.
If they made that game like Fortnite, where you could pay to customize the mech, and here's the game, and here's a million options for you, $1 a piece. That game could have been amazing. Yeah. You could have an open world friggin' assault of mechs, and it would have been a blast.
Well, I was really excited to play that game with my friends called Sea of Thieves when it first came out.
Yes, I remember the commercials.
And I was like, oh man, this is great. We're gonna have our own ship. We can upgrade it on stuff. Everything's aesthetic only. Like as you progress, you never get stronger. You know what I mean? You never.
Yeah.
It's like that's it. Your ship might get a different flag or a different logo or something, but it's all aesthetic. And I don't know. It didn't feel like it didn't motivate me to play it. And but it was cool to me that one guy had to steer the ship and one guy's working the map and all that stuff. But I mean, when it gets down to the nitty gritty, the meat, when you're fighting bosses or other players and stuff, it's just, I don't know. It wasn't worth it to me.
There wasn't enough oomph to it. It's just like that Xbox One game where you were the Spartan soldier. Or the Roman soldier. They sold that was going to be the most groundbreaking thing you've ever played. I think it was Rise, Son of Rome.
Yeah.
That was it. Yeah. And you saw it at E3, and you pre-ordered your Xbox One, and you had to have that game. And then you played it, and it was just some generic hack and slash video game that there was nothing to it.
It looked good, but yeah, you're right. I mean, the path, it was a linear path you had to follow. It wasn't like any kind of open world concept. And
to me, it was the last fun I had with an open world was there was that Ninja Gaiden 3 or something on the Xbox itself. There was this Wild Ninja Gaiden, I remember. But that's aging myself. But I still play the NES one, so.
Yeah, that was a tough game too. Ninja
Very,
Gaiden.
very hard. I don't think I've ever beaten it because right before the last boss, they like put you on some cliff that you got to jump at the right spot, and I never could make the jump. Just like the sewer in Ninja Turtles, there was that one sewer jump.
Yeah. What was that game that I used to play? Top Gun.